The Boston Bruins have re-signed Morgan Geekie, about time, Michael Callahan, and Marat Khusnutdinov. But unfortunately, we're going to be saying goodbye to Jakub Lauko. All this and more on the latest episode of Bruins Diehards. So buckle up, Bruins fans. I'm here to give you the latest info on your beloved Boston Bruins. If you've been liking my Bruins content, please leave me a like and subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you, and let's get into it. Well, the Bruins have done it. They've signed Morgan Geekie and others, and we've had to say goodbye to another former player or new player. I don't even know at this point. He comes back and forth so many times. But the Boston Bruins did something different. They keep talking about it's a new era in Boston. Well, I guess it is because they have signed restricted free agent Morgan Geekie. Now, they've got about $16 million, just over that, in cap space to work with. So there's a lot they can do tomorrow with free agency period or with trades. But I think this spells, honestly, a different era in Boston because usually they drag RFAs out. We've seen it with Jeremy Swayman. We've seen it with David Pastrnak. We've seen it with Charlie McAvoy. We've seen it with Brad Marchand. The list just keeps going down the line of what they've done previously. Now they've locked someone up. I know a lot of people have already complained about Morgan Geekie's contract. I'm going to get into why I don't see it as a bad thing, especially with the cap going up. And I'm also trying something totally different here. I'm just going off the cuff because, honestly, don't got a lot of time today. I'm taking my daughter downtown, so I just want to get everything going here for you. So they announced the team has agreed to terms with forward Morgan Geekie to a 6-year contract extension through 2030-31 season with an annual cap hit of $5.5 million. Now, this is all great news, but Geekie, 26. And that's the other great thing. He's only 26. He appeared in 77 games with the Boston Bruins during 2024-25 season, recording 33 goals and 24 assists for 57 points. He set a career high in scoring, surpassing the 30-goal mark and the 50-point mark for the first time in his NHL career. But if you really look at it, the first couple months, he was absolutely terrible. He set all these records at the end of November and on, probably around the very beginning of December. He just shot up. I saw some stats on the internet, like Scott McLaughlin put out there. Players who scored more goals than Morgan Geekie after December 1st, only David Pastrnak, Leon Draisaitl, and Tage Thompson. He did have an amazing year, but Ty Anderson does point out something here because I feel the same way, and I've pointed this out before. Morgan Geekie got a lot of points playing on a line with David Pastrnak, but I want to look at the positives here because Morgan Geekie also really gelled with David Pastrnak, and we were having issues since, honestly, Bergeron, Marchand, of finding someone who really gels. I know they put Krejci there, but I don't even think Krejci gelled that much with David Pastrnak, and I think he knew that as well. So Ty Anderson writes, on ice 5-on-5, Geekie and Pastrnak together, 57 goals in 816 minutes. Geekie without Pastrnak, 8 goals in 301 minutes. Pastrnak with Geekie, 15 goals in 450 minutes, with both on ice 72 goals for 2,431 minutes. That's so, in case you're curious, David Pastrnak assisted on 21 of Morgan Geekie's 33 goals, and Geekie assisted on 16 of Pasternak's goals. That's 37 of Geekie's 57 points featured Pasternak's involvement, which is 64.9%. That can be scary. It 100% became scary, but if you look at the bigger picture with Morgan Geekie, Geekie is the guy that can do everything. You can play him anywhere in the lineup. He's kind of what I wish Danton Heinen turned into. I always used to love Danton Heinen and think he plays such great defensively, and he shows all this flair that he can do offensively and just never actually pulled it off. I remember when they tried Heinen on the top line with Bergeron and Marchand, I thought, wow, this is going to work, and it didn't. But we saw Geekie flourish going on that top line with Pastrnak, and that's great for the future. And at $5.5 million, it's really not a lot of money, people. It's truly nothing. Puckpedia breaks down the contract here. Year one, $2.75 million base and a $2.5 million signing bonus. We don't know what he needs to do to get that bonus as of yet. Year two, $4 million and a $2.5 million signing bonus. No trade clause. Now, with signing bonuses, it's either a guarantee. I'd have to look more into it, but he has a no trade clause kicking in on year two. Year three, $4.5 million and a $2 million signing bonus and a 17-team no trade clause. And then year four, 4.5 and a $1 million signing bonus, 12-team no trade clause. Year five, $5 million, 16 no trade clause, and year six, $4.25 million. With the cap going up, a $5.5 million cap hit yearly is really peanuts. I know we look at deals like Elias Lindholm and so on and so forth, and we're like, oh my God, this is a lot of money to spend on a player that, to some, had one good year. technically has had a couple good years, but I really need to stress how much this cap is going up in the next couple of years, that this truly doesn't matter. And the chemistry we saw with Geekie, Lindholm, and Pasternak near the end of the season was truly the best thing we saw all year. We saw how well Lindholm played in the World Cup. We saw how well Pasternak played. My hope is they can carry that over. If you can have Geekie, Pasta, and Lindholm drive some offense and we can get some secondary scoring somewhere else from in the lineup, and I know it looks grim when you look at this lineup, but I do think in the next couple of days we're going to see a totally different lineup from the Bruins. Sweeney really stressed trades over the next couple of days. And they look like they could be in on Brad Marchand. They could be in on Brock Besser. I'm not going to do a whole video on them possibly in on Brad Marchand. That's just someone put that out there that Marchand could be coming back to Boston. Still think it would cost them more now than it would have cost them before, but I digress. With Morgan Geekie, I think the Bruins solidified themselves a guy that can play either on the right side. He actually can play center as well. And at $5.5 million on a cap hit, it's truly nothing. And for a guy that got you 30 plus goals last year and has only incrementally gone up, let's look at his stats here. So, in 76 games with the Bruins in 23-24, he got 17 goals and 22 assists for 39 points. In 2024, that's where you get your 33, 24, and 57. The year before in Seattle, 69 games, nice. He got 9 goals, 19 assists for 28 points. He's always been a plus player. He barely gets you any penalty minutes. He does well on the power play. And he gives you about 16 minutes a night, which is fantastic when you think about it. Still, even when he does take a faceoff, 46% on the faceoff dot. His shooting percentage last year was 22%. That's amazing. So I look at this deal and I think it's a good deal for the Boston Bruins on a lot of fronts. One, they solidify themselves and they re-sign a guy that's 30 goals. We don't want to look like the Toronto Maple Leafs when, if you remember, Zach Hyman hits this amazing goal mark. Leaf fans, everybody's like, it's a one-time thing. They let him go to Edmonton and he is a star over there playing with Connor McDavid. Geekie is the type of guy that does get elevated playing with better players, but that isn't a bad thing. Sometimes players play well in a specific system or a specific setting, and you shouldn't move on from that guy. The Boston Bruins need scoring, so the last thing you want to do is let scoring walk. So for me, I really like this deal, and I also like the fact that it solidifies the Bruins' new era of not messing around with these players and getting them signed before it's too late. It's going to attract more players. They're going to look at this as the Bruins are not being as difficult as they have in the past. So hopefully this does help them either sign someone for that right side on the defense because, man, it's looking thin, or, get some more scoring depth added to this lineup. We're soon going to see because free agent period opens tomorrow. I want to hear from you, though. Honestly, give me your honest opinion on this. Did you want the Bruins to trade Geekie? Do you care what they signed for? Are you just happy that the Bruins are actually doing something in a positive direction? We came off this amazing draft, and now we're moving into the next day, literally, the player we all want signed being signed. The next piece of news is the Bruins have signed Marat Khusnutdinov and Michael Callahan. I'm actually a big fan of Khusnutdinov, and I'm really hoping that with more ice time and getting more regular shifts, he is going to show everybody what I think he's capable of. His speed is unbelievable. His first step is unbelievable. He's probably one of the fastest in the league, but for some reason, I don't think he shoots enough. They talked about this with James Higgins, that he needs to be a shoot-first mentality. I have a funny feeling the Bruins are going to have the same conversation with Khusnutdinov and have him be a shoot-first player. It's just absolutely boggles me. Khusnutdinov last season, what did he do here? In 18 games with the Boston Bruins, he got 3 goals, 2 assists, and 5 points. I think we all remember that amazing end-to-end goal he scored. I think we're going to see more of that. He'll probably get a chance to play up on that top 6, depending on if they sign someone and put them up there, or he's going to be on that third line, which is not a bad thing. I just think Khusnutdinov is going to get more of a chance in Boston next year, and they're really hoping he can jump off and have a great season. He's still young. He's only 22 years old, and if he can skate that fast, if the Bruins can hit lightning in a bottle here with this guy, they're going to be laughing. It says the team has signed forward Marat Khusnutdinov to a 2-year contract extension through 2026-27 with an annual cap hit of $925,000, which honestly, it's going to be below. It's not the league min, but I'm saying it's going to be below the league average in the upcoming years. The team has also signed defenseman Michael Callahan to a 1-year 2-way contract through 2025-26 with a cap hit of $775,000. So Callahan, I think, is just an emergency They need someone down in Providence, but at the same time, that right side for the Boston Bruins is extremely thin. And they talked about that they were going to have to sign Yuki Hiro, which hasn't happened yet. And I'm sure they're still in contract talks with him. Khusnutdinov appeared in 75 games during the 2024-25 season with Boston and Minnesota, recording 5 goals and 7 assists for 12 points. In Minnesota, Khusnutdinov barely got ice time. He was playing in a fourth line role, and I don't think they used him effectively. The one thing about Khusnutdinov, not just with that speed, he does play a great two-way game, but I think there's a lot more offensive potential there. And then Callahan, 45 games with Providence during the 24-25 season, recording 1 goal, 8 assists for 9 points. He's 6'2", 197 pounds. He was selected to represent Providence at the All-Star game. He does have a lot of potential, but he skated in 17 games with the Bruins in 24-25, scoring 1 goal, and he played in 185 career AHL games with Providence, scoring 7 goals and 29 assists for 36 points. He's also a Massachusetts boy, so they do love those kind of guys in Boston. It was great to see him score his goal last year. I remember the whole bench losing their mind. I want to stress, he could be amazing. He could be that perfect bottom pairing guy. But if you have Andrew Peeke on your right side as your second pair, the Bruins are in trouble. And I'm not saying Peeke is bad. I just think Peeke is the perfect third pairing right side. I know he played for Team USA at the Worlds, and he is very good at boxing people out and pushing people to the outside. But I just don't see it with Callahan, but maybe it's there. Maybe the Bruins see something that I don't see, but I have a funny feeling that they're going to be in on Aaron Ekblad. I have a funny feeling the Bruins are going to try and look at a trade. A lot of people thought they were going to be in Fabro. He just re-signed, so that ship has sailed. The Bruins need help on the right side, and they need scoring. In the past, I would be like, go out and get a center. I just don't see that there. Plus, they just drafted James Hagan, so they do have a center of the future. I still look at the Bruins right now, currently, as this roster is constructed, as a team that is going to be a wildcard team. But stranger things have happened. We all thought the Bruins were going to have a great year last year, and that didn't happen. The Bruins' left side defense is great. The right side is extremely weak, and I truly, truly, truly hope that they upgrade there. I want to hear from you, though. Do these signings even mean anything to you? I know that these guys aren't exactly the flashiest signings. The Morgan Geekie is, but I know these two, Khusnutdinov and Callahan, isn't the biggest flash, but I want to hear from you on it. The last thing I want to touch on is Jakub Lauko is no longer a Boston Bruin. This one kind of confuses me just a tiny bit from what the Bruins were doing here. Steve Conroy put on Twitter, JP Barry, Jakub Lauko's agent, tells me Lauko will be a UFA. Bruins apparently not tendering him a qualifying offer. And I get it. Lauko is a fourth-line guy, very good friends with Jeremy Swayman, but at the same time, I really liked his excitement he brought to the lineup. He gave it to you every shift, but I get it. The Bruins' bottom six is crowded, and it's just Lauko just doesn't, for some reason, get points. He unfortunately, he's great to be as a fan. We love him, but for some reason, he just doesn't produce when he's on the ice. And this was his second crack at it, coming a Boston Bruin, and it just didn't work out for him. I wish him all the best, but I truly, truly, truly think this stinks at the same time. I'm just like, maybe give him a two-way deal, but I guess maybe they said to Lauko, this is just me spitballing here. They said, hey, we can start you down in Providence. We'll give you a 2-year deal. And he didn't want that. There's a lot of things that we don't know what's going on here. Maybe he thinks, no, I'm an NHL regular and I deserve that kind of contract. So all the power to him. I appreciate his service as a Boston Bruin. I wish him the best of luck. And honestly, I wish he was still on the roster just for, man, he gives a great interview. But I want to hear from you. Does this even tilt the scale of even mattering? Let me know in the comments. I know that was a short one, but I wanted to get this news out to you before I take my day. And tomorrow's going to be a long day as well. So that's a wrap on today's video. To stay up to date on all the news surrounding the Boston Bruins, please subscribe and drop me a like. If news breaks surrounding the Boston Bruins, be sure to check out the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you, and I'll see you next time.